Am I live? Am I live? Alright, 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 alright. Okay, okay, okay. Came out in full queens earlier. I'll take a look at that spot. I don't know if I marked it for review. I wanted to look at though. Okay, guys, if you look at this, this is button opening range, right? We got some 9 8 8 7s folding, spinning opening with some Jack 8 King 7, right? This is what you're playing. You start to play 2x. Let's do this, I guess. I don't know. You start to play 2x. It's funny enough, it's actually so weak that you actually, like, I think open less hands when you go 2x. But now you start to float a lot. Flat a lot versus the 2x in the small. So if the tails feel really fast, I gotta say why y'all bum hunting me or some shit. Alright, noted. Okay, but you see guys, like, if we change it to 2.5, this could be due to the rake structure. Let's just move it to 2.5. Okay, there's a lot more calling here. So let's move to a rake structure that's more similar, maybe. Okay, maybe this. You do flat a lot more. Yeah, I would run the study stream more often, guys. The issue is it like nukes my average viewer, and then like the guy in TG is just this absolute cockroach and doesn't want to give me the shit. I'm kidding. Cockroach in game. Yeah. Okay. I'm obviously joking. I'm joking. Okay. That's why I've been running them. It's not like I haven't been studying. Though, look, I haven't been studying, but yeah, I just have to mix calls. The main calls are Jack 10 Queen Jack. It seems like tens, nines, sixes, fives. Okay, let's assume you're in flat and there's squeeze, right? He flats like, are we jamming the tens? Yeah, yeah. So you jam tens and ace queen off here. That's the gambit. King Jack and ace ten are the main calls. Okay, so you jam tens to jam it, and then nines also fine. Oh yeah. King Jack suited calling you is crazy. Does the button have any calls? Oh yeah, the button can call like eights and shit. Aces would be crazy here. I'd be like, what the fuck? Okay, let's look at some of these other spots. Main hand is okay. We have this ace five hand where we open UTG. We get 3-bet from the small. Okay, wait. Let's just run like on the solutions library. I'm doing ace five. Yeah. Okay. It's like this, I believe. We want 1/3 here, but let's look at how to actually play. Obviously, the spot's like kind of pointless to study. It's like comes up so infrequently. Like these spots are just not that important or whatever. But at this point, yeah, I figured this is fine. I have a massive aces advantage. I don't think he's flatting aces too much out of position. Yeah, he's not really supposed to pull out it. He's supposed to raise jacks actually a lot. I'm gonna get 9 eclipse turn. What's up, Pajab Nate? Appreciate you being in the stream. Let's run donk jams. Yeah, we played B50 here actually, and we don't bet our equity. Yeah, it felt like check back in game, but what can we do? The main all ins are actually tens. I guess all-in's really bad here. It loses like 4 bigs, so it's just my fault. The idea being that he's calling Jack-10 and stuff, and King-Queen. So I figured like we could get these hands to fold, but yeah, running check back and then just evaluating how to play river. Is having mixed jams. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like a great jam, just because like when you're going to get called by a lot of these like middling draw hands, and you're so cooked by them. This is another, speaking of infrequent spots, we have another one here. And you're actually flat ace king sometimes from these positions, and he flats it back too. So this board you're probably not actually doing as well as you are in practice, realistically. Still likes the high frequency C bet though. And I think it's gonna give me range bet. If we play 75, I think our line exists. Yeah. Bad ace plus king of clubs. Actually less. Oh, that's ace of spades. So it does exist. And I'm assuming on the 6 of clubs, like in jam, it's probably pretty preferred in the big bet line. Yeah. So it's like a low frequency line. Ace is obviously better. T is under D's. This one I actually like low-key needs to learn more. Is it just 1/3 with range? Yeah. I'm just doing some simple review today. Yeah, we went 1/3 with. Yeah, ace 4 clubs is so pissed in the checking line. It's low key but we went a half pot here. Oh wait, why did I get big blind to check? What am I doing? 12.6, 51.44. You lose a good amount. My hand would still bad spots. The range is too strong. That's definitely not the case. It's more just naturally from the big blind you play polar ranges. The equity is 51.5, 48.5. The idea is villain flats a lot of these low pocket pair hands that you don't have because you don't even 3-bet 10s or jacks. So you're just naturally this pretty top heavy, ace high heavy. So. Yeah, I think you want to bet to attack these. Not only attack, but get value from them. You run this hand with a small blind range. You're saying villain's range is too strong? I don't think villain's range is that strong. That's not always why you pick big size or not. Right? Like, you will range bet on some of the strongest boards. It's like... The size is usually chosen by the range asymmetry. Our range is too strong? Well, that's not even true also. Like, okay, so wait, what's our equity on this board? 51.4, 56.6. That board's really good. Can we build a higher equity board? Ace high is not going to help it, probably, isn't it? You see? Wait, oh, we lost equity here. Just due to the amount of pocket pairs. I guess it's more of a later position. But like big effects, you see, it's definitely true when it's lower SPR. You can definitely just bet more often, but still, it has to do with also just how much hands you're targeting with the small size, right? It's more you understand more about poker in these spots when you play heads up. But six max, it's yeah a lot of range betting and a lot of board textures just due to like just the main density towards ace king, aces and kings. If your opponent has this many pocket pairs, you're just gonna bet every board where they just can't play the game. I've always played a big bail on that 4-4-3 is different. Yeah, sure. But like this range is a little extreme. This hijack range is intentionally just very non-top heavy. It's very like nut cracky. So it's kind of a weird spot. It's hard to do examples on that board because it's obviously just your opponent is so dense towards pocket pairs, so you don't even defend like other shits because other shit's just doing so poorly versus king and ace queen, which you just have so much of comparatively to other spots. I think you won't defend as many pocket pairs here. Is my rake structure weird? I swear you used to not defend last, but even then. Actually, like low-key, you need to look at the spot, like bottom of defending range. You start calling king x suited. Fives is okay. But you go GG, you know. Oh, it's because we're on any rank. Dude, fives before, right? I used to run this when fives was folding. Poker is so troll. Am I just trolling? If you run NL50 GG, does it fold? It's pure call. Oh no, I don't know. It's this. Okay, it does fold. That's even then. Yeah, 4 bet only. I think this is like low key just a better way to play these spots. I have no clue how I would do. I would have to like boot camp for 2 months. One thing about me is I'm an incredibly delusional individual. For good and for bad. So, and that's not like confidence in my current skill. It's just confidence in my ability to become good at stuff. So, yeah, that's all I'll say. But I think every single other person in that is the same way who plays that. So, yeah. But I would need to play the higher. I would need to play high stakes first because there's definitely some metagame leveling things, some dark tactics that I haven't played versus. And just for purely just relying on playing like a solver, obviously like you can be more accurate than the next guy, but the challenge isn't about the challenge. Like the way the winner of the challenge is going to be like has to have like win rate versus the other players, i.e. picking up on leagues, having this skill set to like. A lot of people feel like they could hang with the best players in the world, but I think like people don't have the balls to try and exploit the best players in the world. You know what I mean? So it's completely different to just like I can play balanced and unexploitable versus them on half the board textures. But like when they're running dark tech versus you, when they're doing things versus you, and you respond like I know the Llama, for example, he'll play a lot of low frequency lines just because he feels like people will, I guess, try to start to get predictable in these low frequency lines because they haven't studied them. So you can accurately predict their response. If the line is like low frequency, and let's say they like are stationing units or they're MIDI units, like it's gonna show. Or not even just that, right? Like just being able to accurately predict their range in those in that. So, yeah. They just click buttons like we all do. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't put these players on a pedestal. I'm just trying to be like somewhat realistic. Not you would just be average because like I do think like the solver, like especially in some of these nodes, just absolutely fucks like humans. If you can play it accurately, like Because it just, like, logically speaking, like, people look at frequency errors and how much EV per 100 or whatever, but it's like, I think they'll underrate, like, if you had the knowledge of a solver, how easy poker would be to play. Like, obviously, like, this is, like, so rhetorical, but I don't mean, like, the solver would just play like a bot. Like, it would just be able to instantly exploit opponents, like, quickly, just based off certain stuff. Like, you would just see stuff so quick. That's why getting good at theory, you'll just notice your exploits become better. Because, like, the better you are at, like, theoretical optimal poker, the easier it is to identify when your opponent, how exploitable your opponents are. So that's why I think people take it for granted. I had a friend recently who was like a 50 an hour rig, and he thought studying was pointless because his pool was so inaccurate, and he started studying. He was like, bro, that was the dumbest take I ever had. Shoutouts if you're here. But they are good, really good. And they just sharpen their theory and knowledge and intuition, just brain solve on the spot most times. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's like not as hard as people think to brain solve. I think like the hard part is building like exploits off of like small stuff. Like without data, like I mean this. I think that's the hard part. Like just I think the hard part is like just using your theory knowledge to become tough to play against, like some of the best players in the world do. Those are seems to be the guys that separate themselves the most. That being said, I have like confidence in stuff myself. I just have some issues that like until I fix, I'm just never gonna be able to be close to that. I don't believe like I don't have potential to be there, but that's also just neither here nor there. That's just confidence, which is I think is a good trait to have. Yeah, it's not easy for what it's worth. Yeah, but in most spots it's not. It's hard. Guys, do we range build the spot? I haven't done it in a while. You guys want to range build the spot? I'm kind of bored. How many spots have I studied? I low key don't have enough hands to study. I think. I just like marking coolers too much, but I guess I did want to just take a better look at how to play this, and I only looked at the pre-flop. Let's do general solutions so we can still run reports. I'll do 500 or GG Russian cash. No cash drop. What? Why is it like 6-handed hikey? Okay, even in GG Russian cash you play flop. So ace-7, this. Let's do call fold. I have to solve post flop with AI. Bruh. I can't build reports because I don't want to spend $100 to build a report on this. I got a hand for you. Okay, send it. The thing is, I think people are so inaccurate about like what the best players in the world who are good at theory are doing. They legit. I think people like it's kind of like an out. Like you know how like I like watch Hungry Horse, right? And it'll be like, you try to get GTO players out of their comfort zone because all they're good at memorizing. If you play off just memorization, you are never going to be able to like actually play a theoretical strategy. What's up, Mikio? How are you? Like, if you're playing off like reps, like it's way easier for a theoretical guy to like the dynamic change and him understand like actually what changed. Whereas if you don't have this theoretical background, you're not gonna actually be able to quickly as identify like how did the spot change? How much wider should we be up? Like you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a wreck in the hand. What does this change about the spot? Like I don't know. Like a lot of guys are not just pure memorizing. Yeah, there's some like pre-flop stuff going on where maybe it's pure memorization. You should come sometimes on the stream if you like. I'd arrange that. Okay, maybe I actually might be down. Add me on Discord. I gotta make sure I'm sharper though to come on stream. I don't want to just embarrass myself. Why is this shit reg talking? Are you talking about hi, I'm Mark or whatever? Or who's Mark? Also, I was thinking of an example, guys, that is like so true. What's this like to explain like why the solver is weird and like okay, an example why like being perfectly theoretically accurate is like completely pointless in some spots. I was thinking about this in the shower, but like if someone was to like sometimes there's spots in poker legitimately where you just don't jam the river with a hand that your opponent would have to call worse with. I forget the spot I was thinking of. If it would help if I could remember the spot. Maybe we should just build one, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to build one. Because the solver understands, oh, well, if you start jamming that thin for value, then I just don't have to call that wide. Right? Like I could just not call. Right? But in practice, jamming that thin hand is just going to make money because the opponent's not going to instantly understand your entire strategy change like clairvoyantly. You know what I'm saying? The solver can see what the other guy's doing his entire strategy instantly. So naturally, the results are going to be weird. Like, you could jam all your mixed hands thin for value and your opponent never has to call bluff catchers. But in reality, you're never going to get the spot twice. If your opponent's still calling 50% worse hands, then it will make money to jam it. But in practice, it won't jam it because then the second you start jamming it, then your opponent won't call 50% worse hands. But that's not how reality works. You just jam the spot and your opponent has to call. So that's why if you're looking at bluff catchers in the river sometimes, it's not always accurate as well, theoretically. Because your opponent is just... Because the solver relies on seeing the other guy's strategy. I wish I could think of the spot. But like that heuristic, even if you were to get two computers to play each other, would still be pointless, right? Like assuming you got two computers to play each other and they weren't the same guy, that would still be pointless, right? So, in a weird way, it's almost like suboptimal. I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating I'm outing myself as a wreck here because I don't understand it, but I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, so what is the action? You raise pre-flop. Okay, what is like the blinds? 25 and 0. So you raise and big blind calls. Single raise pot. Big blind checks, zero check. If villain's playing leads here, I love c-betting the spot. If they don't, understandable. Big blind checks. You overbet. You get raised, you call. Yeah, obviously. Am I misreading the spot? Are you big blind? Oh, you're big blind. Okay, first of all, I like leading the spot, and then second of all, your line just fucks. So, yeah, good job. Only thing is, like, low-key, you could maybe just jam river. Or like, pot river or something. It makes sense when you size down, you're just targeting ace-x that called. Yeah. Well, obviously, I like range checking this board because people will just like bet queen jack here, and then your check raise will make more money than if you overbet. So yeah, I like it. Your line obviously just fucks, so because you're just perceived to have nuts every time. So you definitely don't jam turn. There's no point in jamming turn. Like you're saying, just go all in. Heroes MP. Bro, I'm lost. Why can't I read hand histories? It's like actual nerf. I'm just the worst, I think. Okay. Big blind is walking down T. Why is it highlighted? Oh, you're Tony Taco. Hero check. Oh, hero check. Ah, man. Yeah, the issue is you never jam turn. Like, what's the point of jamming turn? He clearly has it here. That I think either you check back turn here is like actually pretty good, but in theory, okay, if we were to look at theory, you're gonna play 1/3 here. Hello? Where's GTO? Is it lost the plot? What did you go to? Like 2.3, right? Bro, I don't even know. Oh, it's because we're pre-flop only. You think you got bluffed? Yeah, you could like rejam river. It's probably okay, but it's probably not flush on river because he sized down. I mean, the thing is, there's no reason to assume it can't. So he's supposed to play leads, right? So like, you correctly assume like he's maybe not leading. That's safe to assume, right? People, if you know for a fact your opponent does play leads, by the way, guys, this like c-betting this board absolutely fucks. You just range check back, by the way, when your opponent doesn't play leads on this board. Oh, you're MP. But yeah, if your opponent does not lead this board, you just check back because the board is so bad for you. I finally found a board where this actually happened, by the way. I remember I was like looking for one a while ago and I couldn't seem to find one. Turn, I think, is easy fold. Yeah, that's actually low-key true. The only reason is you assume your opponent is not going to bluff river, then it's okay. Okay, river, guys. I meant turn here. Your opponent has everything. He's supposed to see lead here. But look what your opponent's supposed to do. You have 10-9 here. It's a mix. You went for a big bet. I don't see the point in this because you just play that size. And honestly, dark tech here is if they just call, you just fucking like low-key jam river. Like, they never have anything. But, yeah. Yeah, but there's no point of overbetting turn. You start playing big bets on turn, what even happens? You go to overbet, and let's say like we move the frequency to the point where like you're betting 10-9 within reason. I'm assuming your opponent just starts range checking. What do you mean? I meant jam over the river. Like he didn't fucking see that. He saw it, like this is a face up. Like maybe it's not a flush. Also, like high key, people like guys. Okay, I'm also getting deep in the weeds. It's 25 now. People just do not check raise ace-x of diamonds here enough. So like low key, like jamming might make sense, but like obviously I don't play the stakes, so I don't want to like get you to yap. You see, okay, if you're overbetting too much, like literally, if you're overbetting 40%, this shit doesn't even lead. That's why overbet here is just dog. Because it just makes more sense for him to play this line. Which he did. I don't know if he went to that size. I can't do the math. Like, what, you went to 5 bigs and he went to what? Yeah, it's pretty much at 21. Like, high key, bro. You could have gone for it. Like, it's kind of your turn, your river, because yeah. But yeah. Low-key, yeah. Definitely it's okay, but on your pool, bro, I don't want you to think the issue in your game is not taking these spots. Like, I would not take these spots sometimes. Because sometimes you're just going to tilt. Like, guy's just going to bet a5 here and then just fucking call off. Or he's just going to, for some reason, have 9-8 diamonds. Like, and call off. So, or he's just, like, low-key, yeah, theoretically, I think he low-key exploited his size. Like, I think generally when your opponent caps themselves on these scary boards in low stakes more often than not, like, it is attackable. But the question is, will they fold the hand? And that stuff like doesn't. It will help your win rates, and it like obviously if you get good at stuff like this. But more than not, like your overbet is a bigger sign that you're misplaying the spot. I have one question. Obviously, you just shoot. Exactly what you're saying. If I go head to head with the strong range, yeah, you don't need to. Like you look, the hand doesn't call. I'm not saying that. The issue you might run into is like you said, like you could run into it on the 8 of diamonds. Like also like low-key, your 8 is just a massive action killer because he probably doesn't have a 5. And when the 8 comes off, like he might be able to get away from it because he thinks you could have a 5. So it's just like you gotta think about this. Like you gotta actually do your like raw equity, clearly not priced in raw equity. Implied odds, maybe not there. Because you need to justify insane implied odds. So you basically need to justify like 100% stack rate when you hit the 8 to call this hand, right? Like almost like with very little reverse implied, like i.e. like 8 of diamonds coming off. So, yeah. That doesn't even get into the fact that like the solver will also account for like some of the fact is that he has 8-5 here. So you have even less outs. This matters more on like 4-bet pots when you like if you want to call down a combo draw, but your opponent will have queens some of the time or something. My primary thought, so he's full shit. Why do you, but like that's the issue I find is like I actually just don't agree. I think you're completely opposite. Like you have to think about his perspective, right? Okay, you're thinking not playing leads, right? So he checks, right? So you think he's full of shit. I would feel I feel the exact opposite. Checks. Okay, check check. Turn ace. What are you repping when you check turn? An ace. What does he think you're gonna do when you have an ace? This. So if he has 8-5, what does he think? Oh, instead of betting here for like 75 and it going check call, I can go check raise and get the pot thick as fuck. That's how the average player thinks, even at low stakes. So I think you're completely wrong. If people feel like it's gonna get reopened, even like the 5-0 player can find the idea of like, oh, he has his king, he's gonna fucking bet, and then he's gonna bet his king, and I'm gonna make 24 bigs, and I'm gonna stack him. But people don't like to play overbet at low stakes, so he's not even thinking he's going 179 here. He's just thinking like, oh, do I go 75 or do I go check raise and make all the money? So I don't see why you would think he's capped at all, especially once he raises. Like, do you think he just like had 8-7 and like was like, oh fuck, now it's on a raise? Like, I think this is like the most overly trapped turn in poker history. Because if people don't play leads, like they just flop it. Oh fuck, he checked. Oh shit, he has an ace. Because he obviously has ace king. He was just really aggro, but even if you're really aggro, man. Even if you're really aggro. Also, sometimes really aggro players do this weird thing where they play like backwards poker. So it's a rec? Because that means it's a recreational. Yeah, if it's a rec, you definitely just fucking you definitely don't overbet. You just bet small and then just bet big or something. And if it's a rec, and he's 46 VPIP, you low key probably could just see bet flop. Check raise turn is rarely capped yet. Like check raise turn is like super uncapped, bro. Because your logic is like assuming that like you need to like actually like when you get in the spot, like I face spots like this all the time where my opponent's value line might not make sense. But what's more likely? They just played their value weird, right? And like you have to actually identify this during the spot. They played their value weird. Like let's say if it's a guy more traditionally passive, or they're bluffing in a crazy line. Usually it's just they played their value weird. That's usually what happens. But I find like a lot of these like plug in an MD8 demon. I'm okay. That's what I do these days. Yeah, maybe. No, but no. The rec is you don't want to get the rec fold off a strong hand. No. You don't generally reverse the rec here. You just don't. Because there's no bluffs. You're not dude, like the point of recs and why they're so good at playverse is they'll pay you with this hand. They'll pay you with 8-5 here. They'll pay you with 6s here. That's why they're good. Because like no reg should pay you with 6s here, low key. So it's like, but when you play as a rec, you just get paid with 6s because they're like, oh fuck, man. That's what's good. Like I'm sure you played in the data, like at the rec, but the issue is you have to actually low key think about the spot. Like he clearly has something, and the rexers don't usually fold 5-paired hands or strong hands. You're not getting a great price. I don't think you need to be balanced at like the IG. Like since we got there, like obviously I said in theory I like jam, but once I find out it's a rec, I'm passing. I'm good. His decision to bet river too, like for how like he clearly has like a thing, and he's scared of the flush, but like low key like they're scared of the flush, but the price is too good. Rec is capable of check raising 5-4. I mean, at what point are you just a reg then? I just disagree with you, like completely, bro. Like, at what point that's just a reg? That's just a like, like the rec is capable of just playing the most reg line ever. Like, I mean, I guess, but like, it's not likely. I don't know. He didn't. It's not like the Breck bet like 10% or checks river. I don't know. At least my experience, like they don't fold that strong of hands. Like the amount of times I got paid here, like you need good odds to bluff. Because the rec also gets good price, and they're not thinking about your bluff equity. So with a strong hand, good price with a strong hand, it's just a nightmare. He didn't even go 130, went to half, so it's like less fold equity. Recs don't know what they're doing, bro. Oh, for sure. But raising overbet? I know Recs don't know what they're doing, but normally they lean a little more passive in some spots. Obviously, like more aggressive in others because their range is so wide, they naturally just end up more bluffy. But like, because you're playing 43% of your hands, like you just have to be such a nit to not overbluff. And most Recs just like will be stabby and whatever. But this line, like, come on, man. What do you mean don't know what they're doing? That's a reg line. What do you think? I guess he's not raising 5-4 here, but he's raising 6-5. Yeah, 50%. Yeah, obviously 50% is not a strong size, obviously. It's an indicator that he got low-key kind of scared when the flush came in. But my experience, when I used to attack these spots on 4 flush boards, or 3 flush boards, they don't really overfold. Like, I prefer to attack the spot if it was like a rainbow card. Because I find like when the rec traps, in my experience, when I bluff these spots into the small river size, that they actually just have a strong hand, they're just scared of the flush. But that does not mean they're going to fold, because they don't fold strong hands. That's just my experience. Obviously, this is slightly anecdotal, but I've had quite a bad experience, specifically attacking the small size on the flush boards. I think data, like, low-key backs us up, but I'm not sure. I'm not really a data guy. Do you find these better tools in the future to study, or just simple ones like these? Oh, Nick, you're such a rage baiter, bro. You just rage baited the whole chat, dude. Congrats. Congrats. You guys don't understand. This guy's a tool builder. Yeah, the issue is this is not enough of that. It's just too often a strong hand. Like, okay, I don't have MD idea, but if someone were to run it, I'm sure when the rec runs delay check raise 100% into half pot river, they just don't have weak hands that often. What did I want to check? Oh, do we want to range build the board, guys? Do we range build the board, or do we just play some poker? Or do you guys want to see me range build again? No, okay, you guys can make a counter, a low-key counter. I'm not saying low-key and typing that in. I say it way too much. I would spend all day fucking editing that shit. I will start it? Okay. How do you start it? I mean, you have a mod, so you can figure it out. Do you think fish merge? Not in the big size, no. The small size, 100%. Like, obviously they do sometimes, but overall, no, not really. Not in this way. Like, delayed check raise, I just feel like they call. Like, oh, for some overbet? OMG, it's small now? Yeah, because I don't want to take up the studying. I guess you guys don't want to see the range builds. We can low-key get to playing. I actually thought I had more hands to look at. I just don't like doing the deep dives on stream. I think like low-key 6-max deep diving is so boring though. Like, this was actually an interesting spot I should look at right now. It was, I decided to check river because I thought the 10 I could unblock potential bluffs in that practice, but he just had ace queen. You low-key got nuked by this freaking run-up, man. We would have stacked him. $50% on river. He checkers 100% though. Earlier in the hand, he checkers 100%. 50% is definitely like usually an overbluff spot, but like he trims it. Like you can't factor that in because he checkers 100% earlier. He did. It's like you can't just look at the 50% on the river. Even half pot here. Should probably tell he's strong, or low-key. These people are so bad with their flop sizes. It's kind of pathetic, to be honest. Like they'll just like randomly decide to like they just switch it up every day. find data-wise, anytime someone plays a size above 1/3, their c-bet range is stronger than it should be. That's simply just due to the fact that like people just don't learn the spots; they just learn the sizes. But then they start like knowing that they play checks, and then when they play checks, okay. So far so good from us. It's probably since it's range block, it's probably double block pretty often. But low key, you can check with the queen. Actually, it checks pretty often. Wait, I'm just a sick rake. I'm so sick. Obviously, ace queen checks back. The idea being just yeah, 10x queen is low key counter 2, and yeah, I don't know how to do this dynamically. You're a noob. Okay, you guys don't want to see the range build. Let me end stream.